So hello there and welcome to another video of the Shield in a Couch. So I'm continuing my top 25 albums of the year, and we're in this video going to talk about number 20 to number 16. And at number 20, I have an album that I actually have this one physically, and it's Comeback Kid with Heavy Steps. And this is my favorite hardcore album of the year. Comeback Kid has always been very consistent, and they're still consistent in this record. There's great songs like Heavy Step, No Easy Way Out, and Cross that features Joe Duplantier from Gojira. So if you haven't heard this album, it's just pure like hardcore punk alternative energy, a great fun record to listen to. And to me, it's my favorite hardcore album of the year, and that's why I have it at my number 20. So moving along and going through a very different album, we go from hardcore to progressive. And this band I actually interviewed for the channel a while ago, and they're called Avandra. And Avandra are a prog metal band from Puerto Rico. And this is the band's fourth album called Prodigal. And I actually reviewed this album. This album is a concept record about war and the effects that war have on the main character, which is this child growing up with all the war that's happening around him. And this is an album that you have to listen to completely as a whole to get the picture. But there's standout tracks on it as well. I think that something that this album does really well is the atmosphere and how the band really plays well to that prog element. I think the songs like the Downpour, Code Name Pharaoh are one of the strongest, and also In Memoriam. So if you haven't listened to Avandra by a band from Puerto Rico and Prodigal, you really need to check them out because it's one of the best progressive albums this year, and that's why I have it at my number 19. So moving along from prog, now we go to a band that's legendary in thrash metal and has been around for a long time. And they've had some hits and they had some misses, but on this one, I think that the band were firing on all cylinders, and I'm talking about Megadeth. And the album is The Sick, The Dying, and The Dead. And to me, this album is great thrash metal with some modern tendencies. And what I love about this record is, first of all, Dave Mustaine sounds great. He sounds energized. The riffs with him and Kiko just work so well. I think they have a great chemistry. And I think this is the best that Megadeth has sounded in a long time. I remember when Dystopia came out in 2016, I enjoyed some parts of it, but nothing like this one. I think this is a great return to form. And just listen to the lead single, We'll Be Back. When that came out, I was like floored, like, wow, this is so good. And also Dogs of Chernobyl. What a great track. So this is an album that, I think it's great thrash metal, fun. And I think that Dave Mustaine and did a great job on it. And I really was not intending to love it so much. And that's why I have Megadeth at my number 18. So the band that's coming at my number 17 is a band that I don't know how to describe it. They're very weird, but they sound like what the Dillinger Escape Plan was doing, but sometimes even, I think, weirder. And I actually interviewed the lead singer of this band recently, and I also reviewed this album, and it's the Callous Cowboys with Celebrity Therapist. And this is a record that really, in its short runtime of almost 37 minutes, it goes all over the place, and they can play crazy, chaotic mathcore, but they also have like pop, like tendencies, like think of Fall Out Boy and A Panic at the Disco, and they mix it so well. I didn't know this band until this year, and I was really impressed with this album because it's just so great and songs like Violent Astrology, title track, What is Delicious, Who Swarms. They're just great tracks all around. Like, if you don't know this band, please do not sleep on the Kalos Cowboys, because this is a great band, and a band that I think the potential is limitless. And that's why I have this album at my number 17. So finally, the number 16 record for me is a band it's a metalcore, mathcore band from England, and they released their second album this year, and they're Ithaca, and They Fear Us. And I remember that I listened to their first album when it came out a few years ago, because I know the Metal Trist actually reviewed that, and I thought it was okay. But on this second album, I think the band is experimenting more with the clean singing, and I think they have more dynamics on this record that they didn't possess on their first one, and that's why I love it so much. There's some great tracks on They Fear Us, and it's a short time of 35 minutes, but on 35 minutes they really go all out. And for example, a song like They Fear Us, it's really potent, and I love the riffing and breakdowns on that one. But also, The Future Says Thank You, Come Eat First, Cremation Party, you name it, and You Should Have Gone Back. There's parts on that song that there's some very clean and vulnerable singing, and that's why it stands out from typical metalcore. They do stuff different, and this is just the band's second album. So I really loved it, and I think it's another band to watch for. So those are my picks from number 20 to 16. So coming up next Friday, I'm going to do number 15 to 11. So until next time, people, this is Hector, the Shield on a Couch, and I'll see you next week again with my top 25. Thank you and good night.